Hi, my name's Joel Roadie. I'm the author of the book Memoir of a Roadie. It chronicles my stories about touring with bands like Stone Temple Pilots, Guns N' Roses, The Cranberries, and Poison, amongst others. Every now and then, I take some of the old interviews I've had on the show and I piece them together and focus on various artists. If you haven't seen the Eddie Van Halen one, check it out. If you haven't seen the Brian May one, check it out. This one is on Kanye West, or Ye, as he prefers to be called now. Here's a couple stories from other roadies from touring with Kanye West. What is it like dealing with Kanye on tour? Let's find out.
Yeah, he's very difficult sometimes. He couldn't be easier other times. Most artists are that way
Yeah.
to some degree. It's I I mean, I've had days with him that were extremely challenging.
Yeah.
Uh, and I've had days that couldn't be easier. When the show's over with, he couldn't be happier. He couldn't be more appreciative. And it's very, people that are difficult generally tend to pay more out of necessity.
Hmm.
Because if they have high standards and they're difficult, people with high skill sets allow for that. You know, I don't charge everybody the same thing. Some people I charge a lot more.
Does
Some
ZZ
people
Top get a deal?
So the ZZ Top reference is because Toby's worked for ZZ Top for years, but also his brother is now playing in ZZ Top. His brother is Elwood Francis. This one's a bit more fun. I got a story out of him. But you thought I was going to talk smack, or maybe Toby was going to talk smack. What he really said is, Kanye pays a lot. Let's get to the stories from Paul Jump.
I got called to go take over the systems engineer crew chief position for Kanye and Sunday services,
Oh,
doing his church services. And we were flying every week back and forth. And we flew from, East Coast to LA, or wherever I was at the time. And every week we were flying back and forth. Some days we'd fly on Wednesdays, some days we'd fly on Fridays, go do a Sunday service.
so he does the service in different churches?
Well, no, he doesn't. We've done a whole lot of them at center stage, where he's turned some of the rehearsal spaces into I don't know, it changed the set, let's say. Mm-hmm. I mean, we brought dirt in and everything. He did this one thing where he brought a whole bunch of dirt inside the studio, built, all this plants and walls and stuff like that all around the room, made it very beautiful and everything else. But in the dirt and the sand and everything else that he brought in were ants.
Oh no.
So center stage now, it all of a sudden has ants everywhere. In all the studios, they had to exterminate and everything else. They said, you cannot do it again.
Oh, man.
How much dirt?
But I was doing that all the way up till, pandemic hit. And then all of a sudden we got shut down, and he shut down for about 5 months. And then during the pandemic, because it was a religious service, he could still do them. So started doing them again. But when we did some in Montana, or not Montana, Wyoming, up in his ranch up there. We did, which that was a complete adventure. That's a 20-minute story right there.
Is it a good one?
We've done a couple of them in Atlanta, where he wanted to walk on water.
Oh, who wouldn't want to? That's kind of crazy.
All these stories will take at least 20 minutes to tell.
Did he walk on the water?
We did.
Wow, that's neat.
We set it up where it looked like he and the choir. We had a 150-piece choir for a while, and then
that's a lot.
It's scaled down to like 80 now.
What do you do on the ranch? Do you have horses?
No, but he had a ton of sheep.
Okay.
I'm not even going there.
Yeah, I don't know.
That could be a whole nother story. Maybe.
He's a sheep farmer. Okay. Sheep are nice.
But the thing is that the property that we were going to do it on, which was his main property, he decided that he wanted to do it on top of this mountain on his second property, which was 90 miles away. So we had to move everything up to this mountain in the dark. And short story is that we didn't get all the equipment up there. So they had to do it, because it was a 3-hour trip up and down the mountain just to get gear out of the semi up to the top of the mountain, because the semi couldn't go there. And it was an hour and a half, one way up, one way down, not including unloading.
Wow.
Oh, that's a crazy load-in. Okay, that
So-
takes the cake.
So we didn't get all the gear up there. They finally said, there's no way we're going to be able to make this. So they literally took the piano, put it out in the middle. Everybody circled around the piano and they did it a cappella.
Wow.
Oh, that'd be great though.
Wow.
I mean, his Sunday services were, this large choir, they would sing and everything else. Sometimes he would have, special pastors. He's had Joel Osteen. He's had a couple of other big name pastors, preachers, whatever, come out and do a service. Most of the time it's the choir director will give a little sermon. Sometimes Kanye will speak. Sometimes he doesn't. And it's just, he puts it together, and mostly it's for friends and family. It's an invitation only type thing.
Wow.
But we did do 3 or 4 where they were paid services, paid events where people were able to come in.
Extravagant. Getting rid of all the ants, that must have been amazing. Forget about getting rid of all the dirt. I'm going to share with you one more story from Paul, one more story from Toby, and then you guys can sum up what you think it would be like touring with Kanye West. Any comments, suggestions, or whatever, put them in the messages. Love to read them, see what you guys think. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.
Some days he's awesome.
And he can be. You never know what he's wanting. You'll give him a design and everything else. He'll approve it. Then all of a sudden he'll see it and he'll be like, no, I don't like it. I don't want to do that. We're going to change this. And you just change it on the spot.
Wow.
The last one that I did was it wasn't a Sunday service. It was for his new album, Donda. And it was him and Drake at the LA Coliseum. And we had this whole design, we put it all together, and we'd been doing it in a couple of stadiums the same way. All of a sudden he decided he did not want any risers on the field with the speakers on them. He wanted them on the ground, just flat on the ground. This is after we had set 2/3 of them up. So we had to literally go and take them all back down and just put them on the field. And yeah, it was a lot of work, but it was like I had a whole bunch of young people with my company that were there, and they're like, why are we doing this? I'm like, hold on. This is normal. There's nothing new here. And they were talking about the long hours. We've talked about long hours and everything else. I was like, look, if you get called to go do Kanye, you just get into the mode that you're going to do a 30-hour day. That's it. It's a normal thing. You're going to do it. On average, that's what it was. And like I said, not trying to impress anybody or anything like that. It's just fact.
Yeah.
And these kids had to learn real quick. You have to have stamina and pace yourself to do some of these. So
we've done a lot of stuff that's never been aired. We've done whole tour. We did one round of tour rehearsal. We scrapped the whole thing. We still did the tour. We just threw that $7 million set away and went in a different direction, which means that week was pretty busy. There's a core
What did they do with the
team.
set? Who knows?
I went to Production Storage Group.
Yeah.
I had a console stored there, and I went to pull it out and saw some of the stuff from that event that's still stored there. I tell you, it's amazing to see the amount of stuff that has been generated. Like with Katy Perry on the last tour, I believe there were 4 sets built.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe by clicking the round button on the bottom right. To learn more about me or the guests on the show, go to joelroadie.com. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok. The handle's Joel Roadie.